4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
And we start right here at 6 with the latest from Shelby Township, where we now confirm police shot and killed a 41-year-old man.
Yes, this breaking news started about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Police tried to pull over a car near 22 Mile and Van Dyke. That suspect took off running and was armed with a gun. Officers ordered him to drop it, but he didn't. And that's when police fired, striking the man. He was rushed to the hospital and didn't survive. The officer involved was not hurt. We're following this story to gather more information, and we'll bring you more updates as we get them from police throughout the evening.
All right, other news tonight, a $1 billion proposal for a new business in a small farming community. And tonight, some people who live there are pushing back to stop the project.
Augusta Township over in southeast Washtenaw County is where New York-based real estate investment firm called Thor Equities wants to build a data center. Now, specifically, on more than 800 acres bordered by Arkona, Hitchingham, Milan, Oakville, and Sanford roads. Jay Scott Smith spent the day out there, joins us now live. Jay, you've been speaking to folks with some really strong opinions on this.
Yes, indeed. These are some very strong opinions, some opinions that we cannot actually repeat on the air here. And you rarely see this. Every person we have spoken to has been against turning all of this wonderful land into a data center.
I do not want this at all out here.
Larry Schultz has lived out here along Milan Oakville Road for 35 years. And he made it very clear he is not in favor of the proposed data center, which is the latest in a line of development on this stretch of land along the border of Washtenaw and Monroe counties.
We had nice farmland on the other side of Arkona Road. Now you go look at it, it's all them solar panels all the way down the road.
The data center, which is owned by a New York-based private equity firm called Thor Equities, would sit on 522 acres of an 810-acre plot of land. And this has sparked everything from concern to straight-up anger from longtime residents like Larry.
No, I do not want it. Everybody down this road on both sides don't want it. You go talk to any of them.
And that's what we did.
The FBI opened the shooting range, which has been quite a noise pollution problem. And then a mile down the road, they've put in they're putting in a solar farm.
Judy Harris has lived with her husband at their home across the street from Larry since 1984. And while they have dealt with the change of the previous projects, the data center feels like a bridge too far.
It's quite a lot because that's all happened within the last couple of years. And now they're talking about putting in a data center, which is going to really change our way of life, I believe.
Now, the Planning Commission voted 5-1 to recommend denial of the project to the Township Board of Trustees, who will have the final say on rezoning. Thor Equity said in a statement earlier today that, quote, "We recognize that new developments often raise important questions from the community, and we are committed to addressing them. This project is in the early and exploratory phase and would use approximately 20% of an 800-acre site, and our priority is to engage openly with the community, listen to concerns, and provide clear information at every step." For people like Judy, she feels that proposals like this can often feel like a bait and switch.
A lot of things that are promised when these things go in don't happen, and they change after they get what they want.
Now, Ann Arbor Spark, who does support the rezoning, has also chimed in. They said in a statement that while the Planning Commission recommended denial, we encourage the Township Board to keep the door open to allow the project to move forward to the site review phase. That's where the full proposal, including potential community benefits and infrastructure improvements, can be really assessed. Plus, denying the rezoning would now cut the process short before the community has a chance to fully understand what's on the table. Now, the Township Board is set to meet again on June 24th to decide whether or not to move forward with the rezoning. But if it's anything like what we've seen out here, it sounds like it could be a solid no. But we'll have to wait and see till the end of the month. We're live in Milan. I'm Jay Scott Smith for Local 4. Let's go back to the studio.
Yeah, change is hard for many people who've lived in that community for a long time. It'll be interesting to see how it all turns out. Thanks, Jay.
Well, someone across the river in Canada might have thought they were having fun by pointing a laser at a Detroit police helicopter last night, but that person who did it could be in serious trouble. DPD confirms their air support unit was hit with laser beams several times. They reported it to Canadian authorities. And by the way, aiming a beam at any aircraft is a felony at both the state and the federal levels. It's extremely dangerous because even a small pinpoint of light can become blinding when it hits the windshield of an aircraft. It could cause a crash.
Investigators working tonight to determine what caused a fire at the historic church on Detroit's west side. Flames broke out at St. Agnes Church at about 12:40 this morning. You can see all that destruction. Thanks to the quick response from fire crews, the church structure was saved, but the rectory next door was a total loss. Investigators do not know what caused that blaze. No one was hurt. Well, Tesla vehicles aren't selling quite as strongly as they were last year, and it appears dozens of them, unsold Cybertrucks and other models, are actually collecting in a Farmington Hills parking lot, which would be kind of odd if you're just driving by seeing
just all of them all in one place. Well, it's got a lot of people talking, especially on social media, as you would expect. The lot in question is here at the Hunters Square Shopping Mall. It's formerly home to the beloved Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum, which, of course, as you know, has since been moved to West Bloomfield. Pamela Osborne went to see what's going on there and why all these vehicles are in one spot.
Every once in a while, you may pass one of these bad boys on the roadway, but here we found the mother lode. And no, we're not at a showroom. We're in the middle of a strip mall parking lot in Farmington Hills. Hunters Square. It's the strip mall most known by Marvin's Marvelous Mechanical Museum. You may remember the owner tried desperately to keep his beloved arcade there and had a lot of community support. But you know how the story goes. Farmington Hills City Council voted to approve redevelopment plans, which meant Marvin's had to find a new home. That was last year. Fast forward to today, and it's the Teslas that have people talking. We're not talking about a few. We're talking about 100 or more cars, SUVs, and yeah, those Cybertrucks all parked outside of the shuttered Bed Bath & Beyond. A nearby worker told me they showed up a couple months ago. We put the story out where we first learned about it online and got a few responses. This one calling the fleet scrap metal, but not everyone agrees. Tesla lovers left their mark on the side of this Cybertruck, writing, "We love Elon Musk," right into the dust. Back on Instagram, another person said, "Major zoning violation vibes," and there's some truth to that. The city of Farmington Hills said in a statement the city's code enforcement has been in communication with the Hunters Square Shopping Center management to resolve the issue, adding they have been notified that storage of vehicles is not a permitted use. And a spokesperson for the city of Farmington Hills also tells me that that enforcement process has begun and added that it does take some time. I reached out to Tesla to figure out where all those vehicles came from. There is a Tesla dealership not too far away in West Bloomfield. Haven't heard back from there yet. Was curious to know if they knew of this violation. I also reached out to the property management company to see what their next steps are. I haven't heard back. Reporting live tonight, I'm Pamela Osborne, Local 4.
All right, interesting story. Thanks, Pam.
Well, we have been reporting on that smoke from Canadian wildfires impacting our air quality. I'm sure you've noticed. Look at this. And today, Detroit sent out an alert saying this air today is actually unhealthy for sensitive people. You can see why.
Definitely. That's because people with heart or lung disease, older adults, children, and teens, they're advising anyone in those groups to shorten outdoor activities and wear a mask, which obviously is really important. But again, once that warmer weather comes out, a lot of those little ones, at least I know my kids, want to go outside.
Of course, they want to play outside. Brian Sherman's tracking both the heat and the air quality for us tonight.
Yeah, that's right, Ty and Karen. I'm one of those as well. I have asthma, so I've been keeping a very close eye on this, as the moderate range is where I start to tailor my activities to a little more indoors. We're actually seeing some worse air quality right in southern portions of Monroe County than right around Port Huron. The rest of the region still into the moderate range, except for Metro Detroit, the city, going into the unhealthy for sensitive groups, but we're not the only ones dealing with it, all the way down into the Ohio Valley and the Midwest, thanks to the smoke from the Canadian wildfires. The worst of that air quality, northwestern Wisconsin and up toward Minneapolis, but I do think we hold on to some of those hazy skies through the overnight and into early tomorrow morning. 85 at City Airport, that south wind at about 15 miles an hour, really warming us up, but you can see here outside on Tower Cam, right on the horizon, we're getting that haze. That's that smoke from the Canadian wildfires. I do think we hold on to it as we hit 87 today. Warmest day so far this year. We drop into the 70s this evening, right around 70 overnight tonight. That's before storms arrive tomorrow. A few could be strong to severe. I'll break down when the storms move into your neighborhood. Your complete 4-1 forecast coming up in just a few minutes.